Okay, this has to be a quick one. A really quick one, actually. But I'm so hyped. I really want to record this. And we're gonna skip the intro. Just gonna continue. My feet hurt from all the walking we've been doing the entire day. They're sore and sting. What about that place near the bowling alley? She asks. Are we looking for my shop? I cross yet another property off my list. It was nice, but too far out of my budget, I say as I click my pen back and stow it in my handbag. Sarah clicks her tongue. She's growing impatient with the fruitless search. But as my best friend, she's here to give me a second opinion on the properties I'm looking at for my new boutique. And I'm not about to let her weasel her way out of it. Well, how about the one next to that popular ice cream parlor? You'd get a ton of traffic in a location like that. I sigh at the suggestion, knowing it's true, but I just can't afford a place like that. My grandmother had left me an inheritance when she passed away a few years ago, and although it was enough for me to pursue my dreams of owning my own boutique, I still needed to stick to a strict budget. I know, but if the realtors aren't willing to consider my office, then there's nothing I can do about it. We have to keep looking. How many places are left? She asks, groaning. Just one, I say glumly, scanning the crumpled list in my hand, close to the hospital.
Huh?
Hospital? Sarah makes a face, and already I know that she's going to say. Don't you think that's cutting in a little too close to Da Capo territory? Riverside, too. Oh, okay. That's interesting, though, that they're worried about that still. I give her a tired look, though she simply widens her eyes as if to prove a point. I've been done with the gang ever since we graduated from the academy. I've washed my hands clean of all that, I say firmly, giving her a stern look. It's been years since I had anything to do with the gang activity. However, Sarah wasn't as quick to adjust to a life of normalcy. She still kept in contact with some of the old gang members and upheld the boundaries between territories. You know that you will never be done with gang completely. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't matter. I'm done with it, I argue back, attempting to put an end to our disagreement. I cut ties with the gang years ago. I'm not getting dragged back into all of that. That doesn't mean anything. There's a reason we keep our part of the city. A reason we have our own bars, restaurants, and parks. Yeah, because the food on our side is miles better, I say with a cheeky smile, and Sarah rolls her eyes. No, because the gangs don't step on each other's turf, unless they're trying to start a fight. The same rules apply for ex-gang members too. You were a leader, Ary. You were Kitsune. You will carry that with you for the rest of your life. I grimace at the sound of the nickname. One I hadn't heard in almost 10 years. 10 years! Alright. A lot has changed since then. We have a property to view, I cut her off, promptly changing the subject. I mean, if she recognizes you and a few people do, then how did Gray never find out? We managed to flag down a taxi, the two of us lost in our own thoughts on the drive there. After paying the driver and exiting the cab, I double-check my list that we have the right address. Oh, that looks really bad. This is it? Sarah asked, quirking an eyebrow. A glance at the building in front of us explains Sarah's disbelieving tone. As I survey the rundown building, I'm inclined to agree with her. Decaying wood, boarded-up windows, peeling paint. It's a far cry from a luxury boutique. However, on closer inspection, I start to envision more. I imagine mannequins behind the large bay's window, and the striped sign hanging above the door. Bay window, sorry. With a lick of paint and some new furniture, I could turn this old place into a boutique I have been dreaming of. Sarah, this is it. This is the one. I say dreamily, as I open the front door to be greeted by the realtor, ready to give us a grand tour. Sarah lets out a loud sigh from behind me, not quite as convinced, though I choose to ignore it. I found my boutique. Oh, it actually wow, it looks really good, because I already did that. I had some time, I spent some money. Like, game money. With a groan, I heaved the last mannequin in through the open door and set it in place next to the window. After making sure it's carefully lined up with the others, I take a step back to admire the place. The smell of fresh paint still hangs in the air, and the boxes of merchandise, my own creations, have yet to be unpacked, but the store is a far cry from what it was when I purchased it. That's how I feel about my new flat right now. I mean, I'm half the way there. Having been on the market for so long, the realtor was happy to sell it off at a bargain price, which left the little money I had left to be used for renovations. The store even had a small apartment above it for my own personal use, and I'd already moved in my belongings and set it all up. You are really fast. The only problem I had encountered was the basement. The door had been locked since I was moved in, and none of the keys I've been given by the realtor would open the 2 doors that granted access to the room. I head over to where my counter sits, brand new and gleaming with polish, and take out my planner from beneath it. After making a note to ask the realtor for the keys to the basement, wait, you didn't even have the key but you already moved in? Like, wow, you're fast. Like, the move was like the fastest ever. I get to work and unpack the rest of the boxes. A sound soon alerts me to the front door, and it's then that Sarah barges through it, struggling with a large box, held unsteady in her arms. I dash over to help her with it before she drops the heavy thing on her own toes. Together we set it down on the floor. Is that the last of them? I ask as Sarah catches her breath, her red face slowly regaining its normal flush of color. There are 2 smaller ones left, and a bag of hangers, she says, indicating to the moving truck parked on the street outside. All right, let's go get them. Boutique. The 2 of us head outside to the truck and start to unload the last of the items, placing them on the sidewalk while we lock the truck up again. Excuse me, is this your place? A voice catches my attention. A young and unfamiliar-looking man is looking at me expectantly, gesturing to the boutique. Yes, it is. I'm looking for the basement, he says, looking through the windows of the shop uncertainly. He's the 3rd guy today who has come along asking the same question, and I'm beginning to find it seriously weird. The basement is locked. There's no access to it. He gives me a strange look, as though he doesn't quite believe me, and for a few long moments we're left staring awkwardly at each other. Is Walter around? He says firmly, and I blink at him dumbly. Walter? I don't know anyone named Walter. Alright, thanks anyway. He mumbles as he heads off down the road. Sarah and I share a look of disbelief.
Huh?
Didn't that tall guy who was here earlier ask the same thing? Sarah asked as she hoists a box up into her arms. Yeah, he did. And the young one before that. I'm starting to get the feeling that someone might be pulling a prank on me. There must be a hidden camera around somewhere. I mean, in your own home? Hopefully not. If there is, I hope they'll blur out wait. If there is, I hope they'll blur out my face at least. I can't be on TV looking like this. We laugh together, and I place the bag of hangers over my shoulder while balancing the box in my other arm and head back inside. Sorry. So when is Gray gonna show up? I'm so hyped to see him. So how did the date go last night? Oh, I asked Sarah as we put everything down again. What was he like? She makes a face at the question, which I should have expected. My best friend seems to have a string of bad dates lately, and I enjoy hearing the juicy details from every single one of them. He was awfully boring. He talked a lot about birds. Apparently he likes to go and watch them on the weekends.
Oh.
Oh, and he lives with his grandma. Oh boy. I mean, maybe he takes care of her, yeah. Can't date someone who still lives with his family. I mean, it depends. It depends how the boundaries are set up, I guess. Maybe he takes care of her. That's sweet, don't you think? Okay, well, I mean, she shrugs. Though I'm not sure she's convinced. Sure. Wait, why did I do that? I just tried to mimic her tone. Sure, but you can imagine trying to get it on with a guy knowing his grandma's in the next room? No, thank you. Yeah, that would be a little awkward. But you have your own place, don't you? It doesn't matter. He has no desire to move out anyway. I don't see myself having a future with anyone who actually wants to live with their own grandma. Okay, I want to see what she says in the other one. Can't date someone who still lives with his family. I say, agreeing that it's a little weird to still live with your grandma. I take the hangers from her bag and organize them on an empty rack. How old was the guy again? 27. But you know, the worst part isn't even that he lives with his grandma. It's that he is it's that he has absolutely no desire to move out of there. Ew. Yuck. Grandma's boy. Tell me about it. So, no second date? I asked, folding the empty hanger bag and setting it on the counter. No second date, she confirms from where she sits cross-legged on the floor and then pauses to think for a moment. I need someone that has that spark, you know? Not Carl, the accountant who lives in his grandma's guest room. Okay, yeah, that's not so nice. I nod in understanding, though my eyes narrow in suspicion when I see the way she grins at me. What about you? Now that you've got the boutique all set up, will you let me set you up on a date? I don't have time for that, I protest, waving a dismissive hand to show this conversation is not happening. You do have time. No, I don't. The door opens abruptly, cutting our argument short, and in steps another man. He's the fourth one today. We're not open, I say in exasperation. I'm completely confused as to why all these strange men keep turning up at the shop that I've owned for barely more than a week. Afternoon, ladies. Seems there's been some fixing up lately, he says, ignoring my statement completely. Well, regardless of what the front looks like, I'm here for the basement. There's nothing in the basement, Sarah says where she stands. And it's clear that she's just as fed up with all this as I am. This building is under new ownership, I confirm as well. The man takes another step, and the scent of cigarette smoke hits me. Sarah and I freeze, eyeing him warily. The last few guys have left without a comment. Without argument, but there's something different about this one. Something about the tilt of his lips that sets my hair on end. That's too bad. But what am I going to do with my afternoon now? I resist the urge to grimace at the insinuation, but hold my ground all the same. That's got nothing to do with us. A flash of something sinister crosses his face, and I almost take a step back, wanting to put more distance between us.
You
look familiar, he says darkly as he gives me a once-over from head to toe. Have we met before? Yeah, I'm wondering that too. Wait, how did the hammer look like? That's not him, right? Or is it? No. Is it? I'm not sure. Great, now he's trying to out pickup lines. I don't think so. Oh, that's not... whatever. I don't think that it's a pickup line, but she said whatever. His eyes linger on me in a way that makes me feel far too uncomfortable. He does seem a little familiar. The scar on his eyebrow and the freckles seem to stir up memories, but I can't place it. Are you going to waste our entire afternoon? We have things to do. Sarah snaps at the man, though he barely spares her a glance. His eyes are fixated on me. I'll come back later, shall I? His smile is low, is slow, lazy, and it rubs me all the wrong ways. How about you never return? How about you never return? I bite back, ready to dive for the phone and call the police if the situation calls for it. That's very definitive, he says with a wry smile. It's supposed to be. Can you leave? The man smiles broader, amused by the threat, and then finally he turns, walking for the door. Though pausing for a moment before he leaves. Catch you around, sweetheart. Ugh. When he finally disappears, I let out a breath I'd been holding in. Something about him felt dangerous. The red flag that had popped out in my mind was only now starting to disappear. What a jerk. Sarah stands with her hands on her hips, glaring after the man. Tell me about it. What is so great about the basement anyway? I throw my hands up in exasperation, finding it more and more bizarre that all these men keep showing up. Maybe we should find out, Sarah says, a mischievous grin curving her lips. How? We don't even have the keys, remember? I point out, dismissing the idea. You could, pick a lock, try it. And do you have a crowbar? It's your basement, after all. So who's to say you can't use a little force? I stare at Sarah, considering the prospect. I'm more curious now than ever to find out what's in that basement. I have a screwdriver. And that might work. After grabbing a large screwdriver from the toolbox, Sarah and I head downstairs in an attempt to force open the locked door to the basement. We take turns jamming the screwdriver in the small gap between the lock, alternating between shimming it up and down between the lock and trying to pry open the door with force, but it's no use. Ah, you stupid door! I yell in frustration and bang against the door, having to finally admit that it's not going to budge. I stand back and stare at the door in defeat. We manage to chip the wood around the edges a little, but apart from that, it remains impenetrable. Hello? An unfamiliar voice startles us both. Oh my god, he's just waltzing in, but I love it. I was waiting for you. We whip towards the voice to find a man standing in the doorframe of my back entrance, staring down at us with a mix of amusement and confusion clouding his features. I pull the screwdriver out from the door and hide it behind my back, quickly, schooling my face into a look of innocence before remembering that this is my own property and I have nothing to hide. I have had it with these strange men entering my boutique all day long. Hey, what are you doing here? I demand to know. Ignoring me, he walks towards us, breaking out into a grin. You're going about that all wrong. A butter knife would get into that gap a lot easier than a screwdriver. Sarah and I exchange stunned looks. Why didn't we think of that? Or you could just, I don't know, use a key. He holds up a set of keys and jingles them in front of him, and my mouth drops in disbelief. You have the keys to my basement, I stammer, more confused than ever. Your basement? I didn't know this old place had sold. Well, it has. Sarah steps behind me, giving the man a once-over and folding her arms over her chest. So, why are you here? Yes, why does he have the keys to my basement? This is all so sketchy. This place has been vacant for years. The back door was never locked, so I started using it for my own personal means. Oh my god, he lives here! He says casually, oh my god, he lives here. Oh my god, so we're living together. This is already, oh my god, I like this so much to live with Dimitri, and I think I will like this very much too. So, I'm really excited now. He spins the keys around his finger in a way that makes me want to reach out and take them from him. You've been using the basement? Without anyone knowing? I ask, eyebrows raised. I didn't see anyone else lining up to use it. Why let it go to waste? He says with a shrug, as though the logic behind it is flawless. How did you even get those? I indicate with my chin towards the keys, and he holds them tight in his palm. I have my ways. I am suspiciously, knowing his crooked grin should be setting off all my red flags, but for now they remain silent and still. Well, can I have my keys, please? I ask impatiently, holding my hand out to take them. He drags them back out of reach and gives me a look, his eyes glinting with amusement. You know, something seems funny about all of this. He gestures between the screwdriver I'm still holding and the door. Oh, don't suggest like that I'm the thief here. How can I be sure that you're really the owner of this building and not just trying to break in? Do you have any proof? Oh my god. Yes, I have papers inside the shop, or... I mean, this building... I mean, it would be good to show proof, but... What should I do? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna play this like normally. Yes, I have papers inside the shop, I said offensively. So you do. Mind if I take a look at them? He asked, swinging the keys around his finger. I do, I say. This is my place, and you, by all means, are trespassing. Yeah, we don't need to show you anything. You're the one who has to explain why he's been using some rando's building. Wait, some random building's basement, sorry. He innocently puts his hand up. Whoa now. No need to be so hostile. I come in peace. Using someone else's basement doesn't seem very peaceful. Well, it seems I am faced with a dilemma. Alright, new owner. What are your plans for this basement? Just storage, I suppose, I say with a shrug. I hadn't thought about it much more than that. How about renting it to me? I raise my eyebrows at him, surprised by the question. Are you the reason why people have been coming over to ask to see the basement? I accuse him. It seems people already missed me. Whatever he's been doing down in that basement, I guess he's eager to continue. What have you been using it for exactly? I asked, determined for more information on the strange proposition. Games. Games, Sarah asks tastefully, and he nods. Care to elaborate? Board games, if you must know. Yeah, right, as if! What kind of board games? The man looks at to the side before shrugging his shoulders. Me and the guys meet here every week to have a friendly game night of... he trades off. Dragon Den, he finishes. It can be pretty competitive on occasion, he says with a whistle. Dragon Den. I think I've heard of it before. Some kind of role-playing game? Upon seeing our looks of apprehension, he quickly adds. So what about it? We wouldn't be a bother, and I'll pay you whatever you ask. Wait, whatever? How rich is he? I think about it for a moment, weighing my options. On one hand, I don't have any plans for the basement, and the extra money would be extremely helpful. But on the other, I don't even know this man. When I look at Sarah, she widens her eyes at me slightly, and immediately I know what she's thinking. Yeah, that I cannot be serious, right? I'm sorry, I don't think that's a good idea. This is my building now. We are using the space. You were using the space illegally anyway. He falters, as though he wasn't expecting me to decline his request.
Oh?
You sure? Yes, I'm sure. For a few moments he stares me down, and though waiting for me to change my mind, as though. When I show no signs of backing down, he lets out a defeated sigh, and runs a hand through his blonde hair. Alright, well, I'll get out of your hair then, shall I? Leave you to get back your... what kind of shop is this anyway? I'm a tailor. I design my own clothes and sell them. This is my new boutique, Beauty Beast. Well, I guess it's nice to see this old place come alive again, he says with a grin, and I feel a little guilty for dismissing him so quickly. Oh, right, your keys. He holds the small silver ring out in front of him, 2 small keys hanging from it. Wait, he's actually just gonna give it over to me. Wow, he's like really, he's a decent guy. He's actually a nice person. Like, wow, I'm so confused. I mean, I really like it, but like I didn't expect, like, dude, he's just losing his home, right? I reach for them. Oh, I reach for them, but he pulls back with a sly grin. I have a few things still left down in the basement. Do you mind if I keep these and come by tomorrow to move them out? And you'll give me the keys? Of course. I make a mental note to change out the keys to the back door. Can't be too sure if he has a copy of it or not. Alright. I'll have some spare boxes if you need to pack anything up. How very helpful, he says with a grin, walking slowly towards the door. You know, you seem familiar somehow. Wait, he doesn't recognize me and I don't recognize him. Okay. Yeah, I've been getting that a lot today, I mumble, thinking back on the creep in the store earlier who had said much the same thing. I'll see you tomorrow then, he says finally, giving me one last grin before disappearing through the door. I stare after him for a few moments, confused by the whole encounter. Something about him seemed familiar too, though I can't place what it was. Wow, he was totally flirting with you. Sarah's voice startles me, and I grapple with the screwdriver, almost dropping it as I give her a panicked look. What? Good thing you refused to rent the basement to him. For all we know, he could be running some secret sex dungeon out there. Sex dungeon? Why would you say that? It's a thing these days, haven't you heard? I really need to get out. You really need to get out more. Well, that's a good thing then. I say with a nod, thinking back to the strange encounter. What is? Sarah asks, confused. He's not renting my basement. And that's that. Aw, already over. Well, we breezed through this. I was trying to read it as quickly as I can, but I had a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying this route. I mean, he's not gonna move out, right? So, yeah. Okay, well, then see you next time. Bye!